Well, this is a video I hoped I wouldn't have to make. Why? Well, this is the front subframe out of my Mark II. As you can see, it's got lots of overspray on it. The red actually comes off quite easily. The rest of it doesn't want to come off. Which means I now have to take this subframe completely apart again, take it to the powder coater because my oven's not big enough to fit the subframe in, and give him lots of money to blast it and repowder coat it. Rather annoying, but well, shit happens, I guess. So you lucky people will now get to see me take this apart and get it powder coated and put it back together again. So from your point of view it's a plus, from mine it's a fucking great big minus. But there you go, that's life. Suck it up, get on, deal with it. That's what I gotta do. So now I'm going to start taking this baby all apart. Alright, time to start dismantling this subframe. I did something that I didn't film, but it's pretty simple. I removed the shock absorbers from the front. 4 bolts here, one at the top, again 4 bolts here, one at the top. I'm looking at each component and deciding what needs to come off. I've just fired up my compressor, so next thing is now to disconnect all this steering stuff and then get that cleaned up. So what I need to do is grab my impact sockets and my impact gun and beat the shit out of it. And yes, this pisses me off, I'm doing it twice. I really don't want to do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry guys, you're having to listen to my sort of anger. I don't mind doing something from the beginning, but having to do it twice, yeah, it ticks me off. Alright, that, gotta do it, get on with it, stop bitching. Alright, let's see, it looks like that one fits there. Let's grab me an airline. Okay, so that's that one off. I just thought I'd throw that one on the floor just to make me even angrier. Got to get a hold of myself on this because I'm really not. Alright, let's see. Okay. I need to undo those two from the other side. The pressure doesn't seem too high. Yeah, we're set on 40. Which way do I need to go? Plus is this way. There we go. Give it a bit more oomph, eh? All right. Over there. Of course, the problem I'm gonna have is because all of these joints are new, and I don't want to damage them when I take them out. If I was replacing them, it wouldn't matter, but I'm not. Bad enough I got to do the work twice. Let's hope they come out easily, otherwise I am going to get a little bit, ooh, what's the word? Fucking furious. Alright, let me arm myself with an appropriate tool to try and separate these joints. As Arnold would say, I'll be back. Okay, good news so far. I'm not getting any more angry. Found the correct size nut for these because they've never been driven on. Put the nut on right up way past the end. Well, actually not way past, but close to. And whack with a hammer, whack with a hammer. And because they had not been driven and tightened up, they've not been exposed to the weather, these babies came out. I say thank you very much to the guy that put this together. Oh, it was me. Okay, I don't think it makes any difference, passenger side, driver side. The alignment hasn't been done yet. I've done the same here. Going to get these out, and we will now mark these up. Just in case it makes a difference, I will mark them up. Then the next thing, oh boy, I will take off the steering box, the idler, and the bar that goes across. But I think before I do the bar that goes across, I'm going to have to do the nut trick. And there's nothing. Oh, that one doesn't fit. Oh, it's a different thread. Oh, mummy. Wow, isn't that a surprise? Okay, so I'm going to have to find the correct size nut, and then I'll show you what I did. I'll do it live, and then you can laugh when it all goes wrong. Alright, hopefully the glare through the door is not too much. Let me see if I can do something about that. Fuck. Alright, screwed a nut on there now with the correct size thread. As you can see, the other two pieces are out. I'm going to separate this now from the idler arm, and let's pray it works, huh? Well, it did. Look at that, beautiful. Get this nut off. Right, now what I'm going to do here, if I can get this to separate, there we go. Alright, I'm not going to separate it from the idler arm. One, because it's going to be difficult. Oh, and you probably just heard that noise stop. That's my sonic cleaner. I'm working on a timing cover that fits the XK engine, and I'm going to repair it and sell it. It was the original one from my Mark II, but now I've put everything together. I have this spare cover, the spare timing cover. So I'll repair it with good JB weld, and it's good to go for a fair price. Alright, anyways, what I was saying before I digressed myself is I'm not going to take it off this idler arm here, and I obviously decided that after I'd removed the nut. This idler looks perfectly okay, so rather than go through the trouble of taking this off and then having to put it back on, what I'm going to try and do is mask all this up and then just repaint this. I've got to paint it because of the rubber bushes. I can't powder coat it, which is really annoying to me because I love to powder coat shit, but in this case I can't do it. So I'll take the stainless steel nuts and bolts off, give it a sand down, give it a nice coat of glossy black, and protect the idler at the same time. Okay, don't know where I'll be next, taking something else off, but it won't be my clothes, so you're okay. However, if you want to send me pictures of your wife taking her clothes off, that's fine. Alright. Oh dear. No, I can get in big trouble for that, don't you dare. Alright, I've removed the idler just by undoing those 4 bolts. Now it's time to remove the steering box. Again. Same principle. Fortunately, as I hadn't decided to finally fit this, I hadn't bent all the locking tabs over. That saves me $1. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh dear. Oh, I'll give that a bit of a tug. Alright, so there we go. That is the steering box off. That's good. There she is, locking tabs and bolts. I'll put those in a plastic bag. By the way, I did have this steering box rebuilt, and it was well worthwhile. Believe the company is in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I believe their name is Benchmarks or Benchworks, probably Benchworks. Not cheap, but they do a good job, especially if you get the guy that owns it. Alright, next is to remove these rubber mounts and buffers, get them out the way. When you are dismantling your front subframe, which I assume is one of the reasons you're watching this video intently, do make notes of various things. I mean, for a start off, take lots of photographs, take a video if you can. You know, with these days of smartphones, there's no reason not to. But pay in particular attention to this area. See here? There are shims, different amounts between the front and the back of the upper control arm. Now let's look at the other side and see if it's identical. And I'll bet you a pound to a penny that ain't identical. Sorry, I'm practicing my American accents. So look here, totally different. Okay, different amount of shims, and so you need to make note of which side and whether it's the front or the rear of the upper control arm. Now this, do know, you know, I mean, I'm sure you do know, this control arm just comes to pieces. You know, you got a front arm and a back arm. Then you've also got the what's the word, bump stop. Then you've got your ball joint, and then you've got your various shims. So you do really need to pay close attention to that. And next, let me apologize for jiggling the camera then. Didn't mean to do that. And when you're doing the control arm here, make sure, you know, you get the bush, the washer, the shim, whatever is needed. Make note of everything that you take apart. It may be dirty, it may be shitty, but you should really make a very close note of that. If you don't, you will be up shit creek without a paddle. Your alignment will be all off, and it's going to cost you a fortune to get it fixed. I'm not saying mine won't need adjustment. It was built in 1964. I've taken it apart, I've put it back together. I've put it back exactly as it was. That doesn't mean it hasn't worn. So, you know, that's later. However, you know, the ball joints here, if you're going to replace them with the old style ball joint, it has shims in here. Do make a note of that. It's a big deal. If you don't make a note of it, everything's going to be off. But as you can see from mine, I have used the newer style ball joint. I like to use the original stuff, but there comes a point when you say, that's dumb. Why should I put it in here and have lots of shims and try and make the joint right and blah 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 blah? For the amount of mileage I'm likely to do, which is millions, you might as well use these new, more modern ball joints. If anybody doesn't like them when they buy the car after you, Well, they can change them to the original. You've not changed anything here. All you've done is replace this unit with a more modern one. And to me, that kind of makes sense. Oh, and as I'm filming this, I would just like to say, because it's Memorial Day, not that that makes any difference, I salute all of my friends, those I don't know, on Memorial Day. Thank you for your service, which sounds pretty pathetic, but it is heartfelt. Right, let me show you the basic setup for getting the pan off the bottom. Something that obviously has to be done. Now, you can go and rent expensive tools, or you can do like Gary does, make his own. Bit of a spacer, couple of nuts, and some stud, purchased from your local hardware store. And let me show you. Okay, you see what's gonna happen? I'm gonna screw it in as far as I can go. It will bottom out, no big deal, but do make sure you get it up, you know, a fair distance in. So here we go, and you do this on all the corners. Slide down the spacer. Oh damn, I forgot to unlock these nuts. 1 second, I'll be back. Ding, 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 ding. Bet you didn't know you were going to come on or walk to my toolbox, and I got a feeling the spanner wrench I need is missing. I'm going to have to kill someone. Yes, look at that, it's no good. It's no good. What's the matter with you? Hey, what's the matter with you? Gosh, wasn't that an awful song? Where's my wrenches? There's one 9/16. Well, I'm just going to have to borrow another. Oops. Picked up the wrong one. Always pick up the wrong wench. Gosh, did I say that out loud? No, disgusting bastard. Okay. So, spin these on down here. Do you really want to watch me wind this nut all the way down? Of course not. So I won't bother boring you with it. I'll show you just one more time. This is what we do. And don't forget to put these in a plastic bag, safe. This is it. All it needs is 4 pieces of stud. If you want to get fancy, you could buy 8. But why would you? You slide that down after you've screwed it in. You loosen your nuts, which have obviously been pretty tight, because you're watching my videos and that makes everybody's nuts go tight. Just like that. Alright, so there you go. That's what you need to do. I'll put these in and then I'll show you the process, which of course is obvious, but it doesn't do any harm to see it. Okay, once the studs are installed, you'll note that there is a spacer here. That's so that I can get the wrench on without having to dig it in deep. And you will also notice that each stud has a separate nut on there. The reason for that is, should these nuts suddenly strip their thread and let go, hopefully these nuts will retain the plate from taking my head off. You never know. Can't be too careful, there's a lot of pressure on this spring. So now what you have to do, and I suggest you use a ratchet for this because there's a lot of turning to do, is you unwind it evenly. So it's gonna take a while to do it like this, but you know, it's not too bad. And also, of course, because you've got the spacer on there, you're not the nut isn't binding up against the plate. Just do this slowly but surely. Doesn't take long, really. So, that's it. This is how you will, that one's come loose because it's reached the pressure point. Yeah, this doesn't take long to do, and once you've got this done, then you can do the other side, and then we'll start taking apart the upper and lower control arms. Fortunately, it looks like my spring won't have to be recoated, they just need to be re-cleaned, but I will have to take the subframe and get that blasted and recoated, which is a blasted nuisance, but there you go. Alright, let me get on with this, and catch you in the next video.